Today, we're going to be talking about the unsolved disappearance of Curtis Higgins. Curtis is a 29-year-old male from Denton, Manchester. He's described as being 6'4" with brown hair and green eyes. Curtis was last seen by his mother, Denise, at their home on the morning of Sunday, July 31st, 2016. Denise said that nothing had been out of the ordinary that morning. They went about their daily routine, but when Curtis left for work, that would be the last time she'd see her son, till this day. According to Denise, Curtis had been in good humour in the days leading up to his disappearance. Curtis left their house and turned up to his shift at the Manchester Royal Infirmary. It is believed that Curtis left work at around 4:45 p.m. that evening and went straight to Manchester Piccadilly train station in his work uniform. It wasn't until later on that evening that Curtis got into contact with Denise, texting her, "I'm not coming home, X." Sadly, this is the last time Denise heard from her son. Denise said that this was very out of character for her son. His phone was turned off after he sent this text. Denise contacted the police to try and locate her missing son soon after. The first clue they got was from checking his bank records. After a few days, they discovered that his bank card had been used to purchase a train ticket from Manchester to Holyhead. Following this, he purchased a ferry ticket from Holyhead to Belfast, Ireland. During this time, Denise said that they are almost certain Curtis boarded the ferry, yet they still don't know whether he got off the boat. Officers then issued CCTV images of him boarding the ferry to Belfast, which means that he had successfully completed the train journey unharmed. It is speculated that he took the ferry from Holyhead to Belfast, as he has family connections in both Longford and Mayo, and has previously expressed a desire to visit his late grandmother's home in Westport. The CCTV stills show Curtis on the Stena Mercy, a Stena Line ferry which sailed from Birkenhead to Belfast at 10 p.m. on that Sunday night. This would have been about 1 hour after he had texted his mother saying that he wouldn't be returning home. Officers believe that Curtis may have spoken to two men once on board the ferry, who may have information about his whereabouts. Detective Sergeant Thomas Howards, from Greater Manchester Police, Tameside Borough, said police were keen to speak to the two men. He said, "These men are not believed to have any involvement in Curtis's disappearance, but may have key information which could help us find him. I would urge them, as well as Curtis, to please get in touch." His mother made a heartbreaking plea to her son, saying, "If you don't want to come home, that's fine. Just please text me to let me know you're okay. Just one word. Okay is fine. All we need to know is that you're all right." She added, "There have been no fallouts or anything like that. This is very out of character for Curtis. He's a kind, caring person and is very well known around Manchester." Like we discussed earlier, his family has connections in both Westport and Longford, and on a previous trip, Curtis expressed an interest in visiting the Westport home of his late grandmother Anne. Denise said he was in good spirits with me in the few days before he went missing, and I've talked to all of his friends and they said he was happy with them too. He is not thinking like the Curtis I know. He has a responsible job and is a member of the Labour Party. He is not normally the sort of person who leaves responsibilities. Unfortunately, this is all the information we have on the disappearance of Curtis Higgins. So with all that said, let's get into the theories. The first theory is that perhaps Curtis had met foul play. Personally, I don't see much evidence pointing us in this direction. Denise stated that they didn't know whether he had gotten off the boat. Maybe he had been pushed over the edge, or simply met his demise after reaching Belfast. But then again, no evidence points towards this. The second theory is one that is heartbreaking to think about, that maybe Curtis was struggling with mental health issues and decided to end his own life. The unfortunate reality is that in the UK, Men are 3 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Middle-aged men are one of the most high-risk groups for suicide. Samaritans report masculinity, the way men are brought up to behave, and the roles, attributes, and behaviours that society expects of them contribute to suicide in men. The last theory is that Curtis had been planning to run away and finally decided to do it. Having expressed interest in travelling to Ireland, perhaps he figured he could start a new life on the small island. The problem I have with this theory is that we have no further information about where his bank cards have been used. If he was simply eager to start fresh in a new country, why would he travel all the way there, yet leave his money sitting in a bank account? It's unknown whether Curtis had been saving physical money, which could maybe explain this theory. Maybe all Curtis wanted was a fresh start, without his family and friends knowing where he was. This has been done before, so we cannot rule it out. And that is all the information I have for you today. I will leave contact information for anyone struggling with thoughts of suicide down below, and if anyone has any information about where Curtis might be, I will leave the police department's contact information below too. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or night. Make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content, and remember, stay safe out there.